Good evening and welcome to the September 28th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. I'd like to start our meeting with a moment of silence in honor of the loss of General John Galvin over the weekend. If we could just have a short moment of silence. Thank you. Can I please have a motion and a second to accept the regular board minutes from September 14th, 2015?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, public participation. Seeing none, we'll move on to personnel and appointments. The first being the Cultural Exchange Committee. There are three names that are presented for us. Chris Carino, 18 Central Street, Joy Schilling, 14 Pearl Street, and Kathleen Frey, 29 Pearl Street. Can I please have a motion and a second to appoint these three to the Cultural Exchange Committee?
So moved. To appoint the slate.
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Tiz, appointing the slate. Any questions? Discussion? Nope. All in favor? Oh,
Aye.
yes.
Are these all new people?
It's a new commission, I believe.
Oh, that's great. It's
Yep.
good to see new names and to have new
Absolutely.
people applying.
Yep.
Very good. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next, we have the Zoning Board of Appeals. There are two names for appointment to two slots. Francis Hayes, 2 Dell Ave, and Thomas Lucy, 142 Elm Street.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The next is the human rights. We have 5 names that have been presented based on what we learned at a meeting last time or a few weeks ago. Our board votes on 3 names, the school committee votes on 2 names.
Oh, they do also 3.
Oh, they also do 3, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So whoever is not put forth by our board, Steve has indicated he would send those names over to the school committee for consideration. So the 5 names are Robert Vincent from 22 Flanders Lane, Eric Reed, 25 Chestnut Street, number 2, David Watts Jr., 17 Greenwood Ave, William Chetwin, 59 Chestnut Street, and Lauren Munigan, 410 Salem Street, number 1305. Yes, Betsy.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to present the name of Mr. Robert Vincent of 22 Flanders Lane.
Second.
Any discussion on Mr. Vincent? All in favor, Mr. Vincent?
Aye.
Good. Mr. Vincent had appeared before our board in the past as wanting to volunteer. He's new to town. He's a former JAG officer, so I think that would be a nice addition.
Excuse me, would that be for the 3-year?
Oh, it's going to be a 3-2-1. Yes,
Yes.
I'm going to say for the 3-year.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate William Chetwin.
Excellent.
Second.
Nominated by Pat, second by Paul. Any discussion on Bill Chetwin?
For 2-year term?
2-year term. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
Madam Chairman, this is difficult because there are 3 people left, but I realize the other 2 are going to be sent to the school committee. I would like to nominate David Watts Jr. of 17 Greenwood Avenue.
Any discussion on Mr. Watts?
And with no second, I'll withdraw
I'll
my
second it.
nomination. I'll withdraw my nomination with no second.
Just a second.
Oh,
Any discussion? Would anyone of the other names remaining, knowing that we're going to send them over to the school committee? Are we all set with voting on Mr. Watts for the 3rd slot for a 1-year term?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Okay.
I would like to make a motion that we send the names of Eric Reed and Lauren Munigan and anyone else that submits a name to the school committee for their 3 appointments.
Second.
Second? Sure, all in favor of that motion, sending the names?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Okay. The next is to the Board of Registrars. We need a motion and a second to appoint Eugenia M. Coffin to the Board of Registrars from 11 Gould Street.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Paul, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
And she was the only name listed here. Okay. Moving on to license permits and approvals. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the 1-day liquor license for an event on October 25th from 1 to 5:30 at the Most Blessed Sacrament Parish Hall?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. what's next on the agenda, we're waiting on paperwork, so we'll table the request for a Class 2 license from Brandon Auto Sales.
Do you need a vote to table that, or no?
Do we need a vote to table or? Tom?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Move that we table the Class 2 license for Brandon Auto Sales until appropriate paperwork's been filed.
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. We have a public hearing at 7:40, and then one at 8, but maybe we can get a few things done. Moving to the presentation and action items, can I please have a motion and a second to approve the Wakefield Garden Club request to transfer the interest amount of $488.49 covering the past 2 fiscal years of interest earned on the Cowdrey Fund for Wakefield Garden Club civic projects to the Wakefield Garden Club?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Can I also please have a motion and a second to approve the town treasurer request to transfer $2,366,373.88 from the town's capital projects account to the general account, so bond payments due October 15th, 2015 can be paid?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have,
Plenty
can do
of
that?
time.
2 minutes?
2 minutes.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Let it
2
rip.
minutes, we will go through, Steve can present on the Highland Ave order estimating betterments.
Yes, as the board may recall, a couple town meetings ago, the town meeting voted for a betterment on Highland Ave, for the improvement of Highland Ave, the amount of $107,575. That work has been done. The board may recall the way that this works is that the town puts the money forward, does the work, and then each homeowner is charged an annual fee on their taxes, which they've all agreed to. What I'm asking you to do tonight is to actually approve the order of estimating betterments that will be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, and then we'll be paying out the tax bills, going out on the tax bills, and if someone were to sell their property, they would certainly have to make sure that the town was paid back. So I just need an approval of that.
Move that we approve the Highland Avenue order estimating the benefits.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Tom, can you do yours in a minute?
Sure. There is a request before you from me for a
Okay.
determination. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Phyllis is going to have to leave as well as Brian. This is a request for a determination under 8A, Section 19. That's part of the state ethics law. Here's what is at issue. I am a director of the Savings Bank. Last week, I received a request from the Planning Board to review a draft letter agreement that the Planning Board received from the Savings Bank. Basically, the Savings Bank wants to know that if it extends additional credit to a developer, the developer of the Gates of Greenwood subdivision, that if the money is used to pay off to complete certain work, that then a tripartite agreement would be released by the Planning Board. And the Planning Board had some concerns about the letter, wanted some advice, wanted me to revise some of the language. I'd be, of course, happy to do that. However, being a director puts me in a unique position. I can't touch the matter without a determination in writing by the board that the interest I have by virtue of being a director of the Savings Bank is not so great as to impair or compromise the confidence that the town can have in my work.
Tom, will you also explain my situation? I'm also a corporator with the Savings Bank.
Yes, there are two corporators on the board who are here now, Paul and Pat, who have filled out and filed with the town clerk what's called a 23B3 disclosure. That's a so-called appearance of impropriety disclosure. Being corporators, they are not subject to the kind of absolute prohibition that Phyllis, who is an employee, was. However, one might question whether a corporator is entirely acting with independent judgment, and under 23B3 of Chapter 268A, fourth, the facts that might give rise to such a suspicion and file that form with the town clerk, as these two gentlemen have, then you are immunized from any liability under the state ethics law. So I appreciate both of your doing that, and I ask that the board make this determination and sign the form.
Any discussion? I move that this board make the determination that Tom, based on any financial interest he may have, will not impair the confidence of the town and his dealings with the board and the savings bank. And I think all matters have been filed and notice of public disclosure, and that's what the law requires us to do, so.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you,
Madam
Tom.
Chair, I
thank you.
move that we go into public hearing for the
Excellent.
Karen's
Can we-
Restaurant.
Sure. We'll get Phyllis and Brian.
Chance if you could sign on behalf of the board.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. There has been, Pat has filed made a motion that we go, we need a roll call vote on that. Phyllis?
Yes, yes.
Aye.
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 Okay, we are in the public meeting for a public hearing for an all alcohol license to Karen's Restaurant and Sports Bar. And any public that would like to speak on this also, please make yourselves known to us. Welcome, Mr. McGrath.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail with the offices at 599 North Avenue in Wakefield, representing Karen's Restaurants Incorporated, pursuant to the following applications before your board tonight. First of all, we have a request to allow the transfer of an all-alcohol license from Merctide Corporation, doing business as the Duck Walk, to Karen's Restaurants Incorporated, doing business as Karen's Restaurant and Sports Bar, relating to property known and numbered as 395, 397 Main Street in Wakefield, which will result in alcohol license to Karen's Restaurants Incorporated. Second of all, we have a request to allow the alteration of the premises for improvements to occur. Third, we have a request to allow the pledge of the license to the Savings Bank or the Small Business Administration pursuant to a loan for up to an amount of $200,000. And finally, we have a request for an application for request for a common victual license and entertainment license for 10 televisions. With that said, Madam Chair, members of the board, with me tonight is Leanne Wheeler. Leanne is the president of Karen's Restaurants Incorporated. She is also the sole shareholder, so she is it. As I've mentioned, applications have been filed. Notice was published and mailed as required by Massachusetts general laws. I'd like to thank Sherry Dalton for her usual efforts on our behalf to get that done. I think it might be appropriate to give the board a little background or history for what's transpiring tonight. I think we're all familiar with the Duck Walk restaurant. The Duck Walk came to downtown Wakefield in 1997, and they've operated a very successful and popular restaurant for approximately 17 years. Believe it or not, it was somewhat controversial when the Duck Walk came to Wakefield. Our town administrator, Mr. Mayor, was actually the chairman of the zoning board of appeals at that time that commenced the permitting to allow them to open. And obviously, they've been a real asset to the community, and they've built a lot of goodwill within the community and have really served the community well. Well, the bad news is that the owner of the Duck Walk has decided not to renew his lease and to close and sell its assets. Well, that's the bad news. The good news is that Karen's has decided to walk's assets and to open a restaurant with a different theme at the same location. Karen's has entered into a lease with the owner of the building for the same space where the duck walk is currently situated. That building at 395 and 397 Main Street also houses Sakura Restaurant, which was recently before this board and has run a great business in downtown Wakefield. And it also houses Philip Champa Salons. I think we all know that that building is always in pristine condition, very neat, kept very well, and always updated to stay with the times. We have provided copies of the asset purchase agreement to the board. We've also provided a signed lease agreement, a floor plan, and other documentation that is required by your board and also required by the Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. Now I get a bit about Karen's and their desire to move into downtown Wakefield and open their business. The business plan of Karen's is a sports theme restaurant with an American fare menu that has something for everyone. We've given you a copy of your menu, of the draft menu. We've submitted it to you for your review. The menu includes, but is not limited to, a great variety of appetizers. It has a great variety of salads, steak, chicken, and fish entrees. Also has sandwich wraps and burgers. And I think if you could take notice that there's also a children's menu that's included towards the back of what was submitted. What is being proposed is 99 seats, including up to 20 bar seats in the restaurant. Currently, the duck walk is permitted for 102 seats, so it'll actually be a de minimis reduction. So on the site plan, proposed outdoor seating on the sidewalk. The reason we're doing that now, I have to talk with the town planner. We might actually have to come back before your board for that in the future. But I wanted to include that in our application that will go to the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. So we've designated that area so that there won't be a need to modify with them in the future. Every seat will be strategically located in conjunction with televisions, so that wherever you're sitting, whatever game happens to be on that you're interested in, you won't have to lobby or move around to see it. There'll be plenty of views for TVs at every seat in the restaurant. The plan is to be open 7 days per week and to serve both lunch and dinner, all of those 7 days. Leanne is making a pretty significant investment. She has formed the corporation. As I mentioned, she is older, so the investment is really hers, what she is putting in. She has signed a 5-year lease on the property, and she also has 2 5-year options to extend it up for a total of 15 years. Notwithstanding the excellent condition of the existing restaurant, the duck walk has always been meticulously maintained. Karen's is making a significant financial investment in the property itself and in downtown Wakefield. The application reflects that they'll be investing approximately $140,000 within the restaurant. That includes upgrades to the dining room area, the kitchen area, the bathrooms, helping with some handicap accessibility, another emergency exit that was requested and/or required by the building inspector. They'll also be upgrading their signage to comply with the town sign bylaw, so that box sign that's there will be coming down, and they'll be designing something to go with the flavor of the downtown as it's kind of evolving with the new signage. We've already been before the Zoning Board of Appeals on this matter. They voted to approve the special permit that's required for this to occur. They also, in that vote, contemplated the outdoor seating. Their typical condition with that is that 99 seats are allowed, so during specific seasons where you can sit outside, there would have to be a reduction inside to allow seats to go outside. And that will be reflected in their conditions. As far as the hours of operation are concerned, Leanne would like to have 11 to 1, 7 days a week is what would be permitted. In reality, that is not what will happen, but just to have some flexibility, she will request that. I think a more realistic picture of what would transpire would be that Sunday through Wednesday, it would be open from 11 to 12, maybe even shut a little bit earlier, but on Thursday through Saturday would definitely stay open until 1 a.m. She's requesting to open at 11 a.m. All of the 7 days, so that would include your board recognizing the ability to open Sunday before 12 o'clock, which is allowed by the ABCC as long as it's reflected in your board's decision. Leanne is not only the principal and shareholder of Karen's, but she's also the proposed manager of the all-alcohol license. That's reflected in the application. She has tremendous experience, including 10 years as the function manager and serving as a bartender at the Hilltop Restaurant when it was operating. She also was the function manager at Rockefeller's in Salem for just over a year. She also recently worked at the Clarion Hotel as a function manager, but resigned in basically to pursue this endeavor. Leanne is tip certified. We've submitted some evidence in your application package showing that. She is also one that has anything to do with alcohol service within the restaurant would have to be tip certified, so her employees would all be tip certified. I think she's excited to come to downtown Wakefield. She's looked for this location for quite a while. She came to me probably about 7 or 8 months ago. We talked about different towns, different locations, different lease options, and she was always committed that she wanted to be in downtown, in Wakefield. So she's very excited about that, to become part of the community, and hopefully for many years to come, and hopefully for as many years or more as a duck walk. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ryan. Questions, Pat?
Well, I just want to say congratulations. I'm always amazed at someone who, a small business owner, and all the hoops you have to jump through, especially as a restaurateur. So
Thank you.
hats off to you for taking the leap and taking a risk work. I think it's much needed downtown. I think the more we are a town of restaurants, there's some great restaurants, and I love the fact that you're gonna have a function room.
Yes.
I think you'll do well.
Thank you.
You know,
I'm
just
excited.
become part of the community, and I'm very much in favor of this.
Yes, Paul.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome,
Thank you.
and good luck.
Thank you.
We will miss the Duck Walk. They've been here for 19 years.
He's a great guy.
Great guy, great establishment. I have a lot of pride in the type of restaurants that we have in the town right now. We're growing one after another, and this is something that we don't offer to the town. One of my concerns, though, with most of the restaurants is the time of the evening that their kitchens close, based upon the request of the time that they're seeking to stay open. Most of our restaurants ask the same thing until 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, but their kitchens always close at 9:30. Will you be planning on having a bar menu after a certain hour to provide food later than 9:30 at night?
I'll have a late night menu from 10 to 12.
10 to 12, excellent, excellent, that's great to hear, because that's one thing that we do not have right now in this town, is a late night menu
I like food.
at any of the establishments. So that was very important that, for me at least, that there'll be food also served, if you're going to be staying open late at night.
It's important to you.
No, well, it's important to,
You said.
well, it is important, well, thank you, it's important to us. Coming out of town meeting is important to a lot of people. So, I welcome you into the town. You'll be seeing a lot of me because I'm constantly promoting the businesses within the town. So,
Excellent.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? Anyone from the public have any questions or comments? Okay. I think it sounds great. Welcome. All right, I'm gonna go through the motions, one by one. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the request for an all alcohol license?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Can I please have a motion and second to approve the hours of 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., which we have done for other businesses?
So moved.
So
Second.
Bets,
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for 11 to 1.
No, I think you.
no, that's what the intention is, but the request was to have the full week, Brian?
That will be the request.
Right.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's a request, just to
Yep.
give her flexibility, and I said, in reality, I don't think she's gonna be open until 1 o'clock on a Monday or Tuesday night, but in case it's a special event in the function room that she wants to stay open, she
Town
can.
meeting.
She's gonna be cooking till 12:30, so.
Someone will be.
So do we have a motion and a
Yes, I
second?
made the
Yes.
motion.
Betsy moved,
I
second.
move second.
Second Tiz, all in favor of the hours,
Aye.
11 to 1. Aye. A motion and a second that the issuance of an all-alcohol license to Karen's Restaurant and Sports Bar at 397 Main Street is not detrimental to the educational and spiritual activities of schools or churches within 500 feet of the licensed premises.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Phyllis, second by Paul, all in favor.
Aye.
A motion and a second, please, to approve the request for a common victual license.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by
Second.
Paul, second by Phyllis, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion and a second to approve the request for an entertainment license.
So moved.
Moved Paul,
Second.
second Betsy, all in favor.
Aye.
And lastly, a motion and a oh, no, those are all the motions. Before we close the
Quite
public hearing. Any other comments or questions?
Just one last question.
Yeah.
What transfers, when will Duck Walk cease to exist, and when will you be starting
Okay.
the renovation?
A lot of that's gonna be dictated by the ABCC on their timing. Because from here, the application gets submitted to the ABCC, and then they have to process it.
Right.
And then we have to do a closing. So Leanne already has contractors who are looking at the work and getting ready to mobilize.
Right.
When that commences, it's tough to actually predict that. Because ABCC can take a little bit of time, and we can't close on our financing until we have the license issued by ABCC.
November 1st?
The sooner the better. I mean, her goal was to do sometime in October, but I've done this before, and, you know, it's just, it varies so much, depends how busy ABCC is at the time. and-
No,
Yeah,
I'm
so
trying to
it's
put you on
gonna
the
be-
spot, I'm just trying to get a rough idea. Thank you.
Brian, there was another motion that you had mentioned.
There's
that I
two,
don't have.
there's two other requests, Madam Chair.
Sure.
To allow alteration of the premises as shown on the plan,
Sorry.
and then also a request to be able to pledge the license for up to $200,000 with the Savings Bank and/or the Small Business Administration, because it's gonna be an SBA loan.
Move that we allow alterations to the existing area for Karen's restaurant.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor.
Aye.
And whatever Brian said.
You've undertaken a big job. You're very courageous. I think you'll do a good job, and I sure wish you the best. It's a nice area down there.
It's beautiful.
But you're one
beautiful.
courageous woman.
Thank
Good for you. Good.
That's redundant, Phyllis. All women are courageous.
I move that we allow the petitioner to pledge license to the bank or the SBA in order to get connection with financing for the business.
Second.
Moved by Brian, second by Paul, all in favor.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam
Welcome,
Chair.
good luck.
Right?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we close this particular public hearing.
Certainly, roll call.
So moved.
Aye.
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 Brian? Aye.
Madam
And
Chairman?
I
Oh,
seconded her
Brian.
motion just in case.
Second for Pat. Sorry.
Madam Chairman, I would also like to make a motion that we open our next public hearing scheduled for 8 o'clock, right on the button, for the Wakefield Municipal Gas and Light Department for permission to locate poles, wires, cables, and fixtures, including the necessary anchors, guys, and other such sustaining and protecting fixtures to be owned and used by the Wakefield Municipal Light Department along and across particular ways which will be discussed tonight.
Yep, roll call on that.
Aye.
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 I mean, hit.
Brian's gonna check to see if.
Hopefully.
But
Thank you, Brian.
I don't know what this was, Madam Chair, this was personally, they came into our office to ask what the time was, so I'm a little bit mesmerized.
It could be closed in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I know. They can come back in 2
Second.
weeks.
Sorry, that was an emotion.
Rat should pay.
Because we're done.
What's that?
I know.
You got that right.
Yep.
Rat should pay. 76,000.
Good job.
Thank you.
So it's about 6,300 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did that all get signed and passed through? Did you get the?
It's a big chunk of change.
Yes. What's that?
It's a chunk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
3,500 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
We can be out of here. Tell Brian to come back, we don't want him to find something.
Well, I do feel bad, we do have a citizen here,
I
came
always
down, but
describe
he's
it
always
because
happy to
that's just
see
who
me.
I thought. I
I
love
know,
it.
you're
You can you might have.
You
but
might have.
They're not out there.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Certainly.
while we're waiting, I did receive in the office today, it's not on your agenda, but it is a notification from the Mass State Lottery Commission regarding a Keno license for S&M Liquors. As you board may recall, we used to grant these licenses years ago. We do not grant them anymore. However, if any of you have any concerns about this, please let me know, and I can certainly notify the State Lottery Commission.
Nobody,
But wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, in light of the fact that the petitioner is not here, I request we close the public hearing.
Okay. A roll call, please. Phyllis, to close the
Yes.
hearing.
Aye.
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 Closing the hearing.
You got it.
Unanimous.
Closed.
Means that
Means you can go
I'll
home.
2 weeks.
let you know, yeah,
Yeah.
come back, yeah.
Wait, should we
If they show
reschedule
up.
it for a time, or? And we just closed it, should we have continued it instead, just as a matter of form, and to let people like him know that,
What do you think, sir?
If you want to continue as opposed to re-advertise, then I'd recommend that the motion be withdrawn.
Okay.
I hereby withdraw my motion. And I'll, do we have to go through the,
we could vote on it.
Roll call?
Yeah, why don't you have a roll call vote to withdraw the approval of the
Aye.
closing?
aye?
Aye.
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 Rewording?
So,
I amend my motion to say, I recommend that we continue this public hearing until the next meeting
At 8 PM?
at 8 PM.
Would that be October 14th day instead of Columbus Day?
Yes,
And-
14th.
14th.
Yes.
I think we should have it at 7:40 since it'll be the first public hearing.
Absolutely.
7:40.
Get them out of the gate.
Second?
Excellent. Sorry.
Roll call.
Good
Thank
question.
you.
Roll call.
Roll call to
Always nice to see you,
continue
though,
the
Mr.
hearing.
Dunbar.
Aye.
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 All in favor of continuing the public hearing to the next meeting at 7:40?
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Okay. I think we are all set. So there's correspondence in your packets. Go around the room for any comments. Brian?
No, I think I'm good. Good to be back. I haven't been here for a few meetings, so.
Good to have you back. Oh,
Nothing at this time, madam.
Phyllis?
I just want to say one thing. I remember when I asked them to put the stop sign at Salem and Vernon Street. I tell you, that is the best darn intersection, what they've done down there. Everybody
better.
has to stop.
It slows
There's
it
that
down.
five-way stop. It is
I agree.
so fantastic. They've done a great job. That's all I have to say.
Tiz?
Oh, no, nothing.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, no, nothing.
Just quickly, out walking around town yesterday, I just noticed, we walk in the lake, and that Clarion Hotel, Steve, I don't know what is going on. Last week, I saw the new banner that changed their name mysteriously. Now they've got storage bins, storage trailers, construction materials, orange snow fence around their new pool. It's a circus. It's a circus, and it's probably one of the nicest, most picturesque part of town. And I don't know what these folks are doing over there or how they're getting away with it, but it's a disaster. So,
I'll be-
that's all I have to
Be
say.
happy to look into that,
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Selectman Wynn.
Betsy?
I agree with, it's an eyesore. In fact, I don't think Clarion Inn is even there anymore.
It's not.
I think they pulled their name right off that
I don't,
particular.
I'm sorry, the name
Yeah.
changed. I saw the new sign. I apologize to the folks from the Clarion Inn if it's
Yeah.
not the Clarion Inn. Whatever it's called,
Yeah,
it's a
mess.
disaster.
Lakeside Inn or some foolishness.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it is. It's an eyesore. Which is the gateway coming in. I couldn't agree with you more. I
Right.
saw it today. I only have one thing to say, and it's about the food pantry. There's some great sales at all three of the major food shops, Shaw's, Stop and Shop, and Market Basket. So when you're out doing your either daily or weekly food order, would you just throw a couple of extra dollars in and purchase something for the food pantry, as well as when you're buying all the candy for Halloween, throw an extra $1 in and get, not candy necessarily, but, you know, some pasta or pasta sauce or something you can use. We have over 450 families in Wakefield that depend upon the food pantry. And that's just it. Thank you.
Excellent. Tom?
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Just very briefly, I had a great meeting with Dr. Smith last week, and was very excited about her vision for the schools, about her understanding that the transparency of that last budget vote we did. She understands that she would like to come before us and explain exactly what's happening in the schools. She did it for me. It's exciting. So I was very heartened to that collaboration, and moving forward is continuing with Dr. Smith. And she mentioned you, Phyllis, and how she absolutely wants you to keep on the maintenance and the cleanliness of the schools, and with the new facilities manager, she thinks it really will happen. So it was a nice conversation.
I just want to say, I was never so impressed, and I was really treated like royalty when I went with Steve, when we had the two, the veterans.
The Medal of Honor winners.
Yes.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God,
Nice.
the school did such a wonderful thing. It was such a beautiful ceremony, and I really felt honored to be there, to be right in front, and to me, it was one of the nicest things that ever happened to me. It was absolutely fantastic.
Excellent.
And those two gentlemen were so great, but the one from the Marine Corps, you couldn't touch him. He was so good. It was wonderful,
Excellent.
because I'm very partial to Marines. I just wanted to.
Good, no, I'm
I
glad.
wanted to thank the school
Great.
for what they did. I mean this sincerely, I really want to thank Steve, because Steve he knows how much that means to me, and he always makes sure that I'm there.
Yep. Excellent. All right, is there a motion to close the meeting?
So
So,
moved.
second.
Moved by Paula, second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.